In the name of God, who watches over the earth and knows everything about the universe. On the morning of October 7th, 2023, after Fajr prayer at 6:30 in the morning, a fleet of 140 drones using GPS, geographic position satellite coordinates, crossed over the concrete wall that separates Gaza from Israel. Each drone had a payload which it dropped over the police stations and border guard posts programmed into the GPS. The concrete wall was breached with explosives in 20 places, and columns of trucks drove through the wall. A team of soldiers was sent to each location to capture all the Israeli police and border guards in the stations which were bombed using the GPS and drones. During the first 20 minutes of this activity, there was heavy cover fire being provided by Hamas from behind the concrete wall. Israel has an Iron Dome rocket shield. It is a system of technology that can intercept rockets and missiles. Radar sensors are strategically placed along the border wall, and rocket-to-rocket interception weapon is stationed strategically along the border wall. The intercepting rocket must use radar and GPS to hit the incoming rocket before it strikes the ground. On the morning of October 7th, a massive electrical frequency was sent across the border area, and all of the radar sensors were blinded for 100 kilometers. The radar sensors were unable to track and intercept the rockets fired over the border wall because a big radar jammer was jamming the signals. The radar jammer was big enough to take out 100 kilometers of radar sensors for the Iron Dome. Rockets rained down on the cities along the border of Israel, and the Israeli shield was down. A column of soldiers took captive all remaining policemen and border guards and retreated with them into the tunnel systems under Gaza. There was an offshoot of this column of soldiers who carried out a secret mission in the exact modus operandi that the Russian Wagner Group had used in the opening battles of the Ukraine war. The secret mission of this branch in the column was to sadistically traumatize the civilian population in the area. They did things that we did not see in the past from Hamas. Netanyahu flew to the command center in Tel Aviv to direct counterattacks. He cut power to 80% of Gaza City and sent fighter jets to bomb Gaza. Netanyahu's fighter jets destroyed the city center of Gaza and the location of government offices, hospitals, important facilities, and many residential apartment buildings. Netanyahu sent troops to the cities along the border wall that had been breached. Israeli soldiers packed themselves into helicopters like sardines and traveled to the fireland. None of these army transports were shot down before they reached the Great Wall of Gaza. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of rockets and missiles and bombs fell across the borderlands of Israel and the heart of the city of Gaza on the day of October 7th, 2023, from dawn into the night. When the sun rose on the next day, the only place in all the land that was completely destroyed is the city center of Gaza. 1 million people began to walk away from the site of the destruction in the city center. None of the wounded could be saved. Families walked the highways in a column of tens of thousands. Many of them have lost someone they love because of one of the bombs that fell. Your great-grandfather has never seen what you are seeing today in 180 pixels high definition live broadcasting. What would he say to you? This is exactly why our forefathers died in the world gas wars 100 years ago, behind the curtains of information blackouts. The truth is, we need control of the governments. We must be able to restrain the governments. If the Israeli people choose to follow Netanyahu, they will play a part in something they never imagined. Very much information has been hidden from the people in effort to get them to do things like this to our people and our cities. Long live the people of Gaza, and may God protect them. Written by Catherine Alwan, November 5th of 2023. In the name of God, who provides the diamonds and gas which power the Israeli economy. Destruction of humanity is a war crime. Israel has a massive system of surveillance technology, which they are now using for tracking enemy combatants in the battlefield using AI, artificial intelligence. Israel is monitoring the phones and internet of all of Gaza, tracking people using programs and supercomputers. Israel has facilities capable of ground penetrating radar tomography and developed a complete map of all of Hamas tunnel systems. Israel has a rocket tracking system that intercepts rockets in flight using radar scanning system named the Iron Dome. There are 300,000 Israeli troops marching on Gaza under the command of Netanyahu. All of the hospitals and medical facilities have tunnels underneath them because a hospital is essential to an army. The hospitals have important medicine and medical machines and tools that are essential for Hamas to access. And we have never in the history of mankind waged a war under the earth. The suffering of mankind has always compelled the laws of peace. Trench warfare in World War I was abhorrent. The air battles with 50 fighter planes in World War II is something today no man could stomach. War must be a last resort. We must prohibit the use of bombs to collapse tunnels in warfare. This should be a banned act. 100 years ago, a medic wore a white band on his arm and he carried wounded men off the battlefield. Today, we need safeguards against governments who bomb hospitals. Who will stop the government from bombing the hospitals? Israel has 3 tracking systems which are essential to Netanyahu's ability to wage war in Gaza. He has a map of the tunnel systems, he has a rocket interceptor to shield himself, and he has AI, artificial intelligence monitoring of all the phones and internets in Gaza. We cannot allow these crimes against humanity. The only hope to stop Netanyahu is the Israeli people themselves. In the name of God, who showed man how to use heat and pressure in a room to generate propulsion in a chamber, to generate propulsion, and who conducted all of the chemical reactions for man to choose from. Israel is using new bomb technology to make a bomb to detonate before impact or after impact. If the bomb explodes before impact, there is a small crater. If the bomb explodes after impact, it burrows in the ground before it detonates and makes very deep craters. In the past week, Israel has used these 2 smart bombs technologies in 2 different attacks, killing 1,000 people. If the If the bomb explodes before impact, there's a small crater. If the bomb explodes after impact, it burrows into the ground before it detonates and makes very deep craters. In the past week, Israel has used these two. The attack on Al Ali Arabi Hospital, the bomb detonated before impact. Therefore, the explosion occurred on the surface of the ground, and it had a larger radius of explosive power. The attack on Jab- Jabalia camp detonated the bomb after it burrowed in the ground. Therefore, the explosion was very deep in the ground. On October 14th, at the Al Ali Arabi Hospital in Zaytun, Gaza, a rocket hit the top floors of the hospital. The hospital director was warned to evacuate all of the patients in the hospital, but he did not have any cars, and many people cannot walk. They need air and medicine. There are 400 people sleeping in the courtyard of the hospital. They had run here for safety because of the bombings near their homes. They were sleeping in the courtyard of the hospital. On October 17, 3 days later, at 7 in the evening exactly, a crazy sound is heard of an explosion, and there is orange fireballs in the sky. 400 people are killed in 1 second because of an Israeli fighter jet. The impact site is 3 feet wide. The building structures are not damaged. 1 car flipped over. 400 people are killed. What is the purpose of this bomb technology? The bomb explodes in the air, 20 feet over the street. On October 31st in Jabalia, Camp North Gaza, a shower of 6 bombs struck a refugee camp in the city center. The munitions were 6 tons of explosives. They caused apartment buildings to turn into dust. 400 people are killed in 1 second because of an Israeli fighter jet. The impact crater of these bombs are 60 feet deep. The bomb technology penetrated the ground before the explosion. After the bomb penetrated the earth, the explosion happened, and the explosion was very deep in the ground. The Israeli government is out of control, and there is no one to stop him. They have remote-controlled bombs, and they have little need for a regular army. They are violating the conscience of humanity. Netanyahu's money is coming from a few offshore oil rigs. You can follow the employees to find the locations. The Netanyahu's money comes from diamonds and circuitry based in a few factories. If you take away this cash flow, there's no chance Netanyahu could get 1 rocket shell to fire. Netanyahu is a bad leader, and all of Israel has paid a price. We have international law to keep the world peace, and the Security Council is utterly depraved. They are so disgusting. Nobody watches them anymore. Biden should be completely restraining Netanyahu, but he has arrived with supplies for the Iron Dome and warships to protect the offshore gas rigs, which is Netanyahu's right arm. If Biden can't get Netanyahu's finger off the trigger, who will? The people of Israel must wake up to the fact that you are the last hope. The people of Israel must shake the throne of Netanyahu down, or you will pay a terrible price. Everybody knows what it means when a leader tries to destroy a whole city of people. This is genocide. This is the destruction of humanity. We need to let him know that Netanyahu has got to get out of the office. Allahu Akbar.